things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too unsettled you. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique the Prima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique the Prima. Go sis. First things first.
Dominique DePrima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing every single day, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and getting it going. Let's get our week rolling. Happy Monday. Hopefully you know what we do, but if you don't, welcome in, welcome in. We're on YouTube, on the YouTubes at KBLA 1580. So this is how we map out our days. Our first hour is typically local. We look to the left coast. What's up, LA, Cali, everything west. Hour two, we go to the national, international, and beyond. We have freestyle phones, so you can bring up something, change the subject, or build on what we're already talking about. And in the third hour of the show, we do a deep dive with a person or persons of interest on a topic. Sometimes on a topic of interest. Well, it's a messy Monday. It might have crept up on you as it did for me. A messy Monday means that we talk about relationships. In fact, to be specific, I call it my opinionated friends take on love. Today, it's a new friend, never met him before. It's Dr. LeGrand Mason, PhD. He's a psychologist, and he's got a book about relationships. He's got some strong opinions, so hopefully he can help us. Ha ha ha. We shall see. Look forward to talking with you on that messy Monday. Joining me right now, though, live and in studio, if you're wondering who that guy is, looking dapper, he's an experienced civil rights leader and senior pastor with a history of working in the nonprofit organization world. Currently, he's the executive director of the Southern Christian Leadership Council of Southern California. Pastor William Smart, good morning.
Good morning, my sister. How are you doing today?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's as you said, a messy Monday, but it's a good Monday. It's a good day.
Yeah, well, okay. You're here, so I always try to start with something good, and you're giving me feel good church energy this morning. So when you say it's a good day, what makes you say that?
We woke up.
Yeah. And
we can start another day for the liberation of our people. That's a message from my pastor always. My wife, Pastor Tambakile, says it's a great day to be alive and it's a great day to do good work.
You guys have a two-pastor home, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
There must never be a messy Monday at your house.
Well, we dealing with the issues that we deal with. We take them on, Sister DePrima, and so there's always there's always some challenge for both of us together with the projects and the people we're working with.
Yeah, I mean, what we typically think of is pastor and first lady. I mean, I know you guys are human beings. Being a pastor doesn't automatically make you perfect, but we always think of, president, first lady, pastor, first lady, but pastor and pastor. And also married. Wow.
Yes. It's a challenge to make sure that we're constantly witnessing to each other as we move forward. And as we witness to each other, we're witnessing to the world also.
Yeah. Do you guys, like when you're not at church, do you guys pray a lot together?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Wow.
She is an advocate of prayer, and so you'll just hear her all the time around the house praying,
Wow.
or lifting up the name of our Lord. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your house is divinely anointed.
Yes, ma'am. God bless you. We give praises to the Lord.
Yes, indeed. But you also have this other whole job, which is
Yes.
SCLC,
Yes.
SoCal.
Yes.
And that's a big job in terms of advocacy. I mean, it seems real basic. We know SCLC was founded by Dr. Martin Luther King back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there are chapters all over the country and that the work continues. But what do you guys really do? I mean, for those that aren't as familiar in today's world without MLK around.
Well,
what do y'all do?
One of the basic things is we advocate for, voting rights. I say that because tomorrow is National Voter Registration Day. So we have one of our entities, the Martin Luther King Young Dreamers for Justice, which is a diverse organization group of young people between the ages of 14 and 21 now. And they're going to be in some of the private schools in the Valley, encouraging people to vote. And hopefully, as the week progresses, we will be in close to a high school around here.
Do we want those folks to vote? I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Kidding, not kidding. I mean,
yes.
As a mama whose child has survived that system, young black child has survived that system, I know there's a lot of Trump supporters out in them there private school woods.
Yes, you're right. But our organization is have very liberal leanings, and they're going after people who need to vote.
Right.
Everybody needs to vote.
And we know young people tend
Yes.
to be more progressive, but
yeah. And then
I've seen some things, Pastor.
Yes, I know you have. I have too. And then right here in the city, we're going to be working where it's on the cards now. I can't say without further, but 2 or 3 high schools that will also be working this week on voter registration.
That's great stuff. That is definitely God's work mixed with, nonprofit work, right?
Yeah, well, yes. We have to encourage them to vote. I can't tell them who to vote for, but we just have to make sure that they're exercising their right. And tomorrow being this day, it is real important. That's something we stand on. So many of us went through so much, not me, but others, to get the right to vote, to fight for our people that right. And so we have to always do this. This is the engaging activity that really empowers our community when you're voting, and you're voting together, and you're letting elected officials know that they have, there's someone watching them, and there's someone who's going to be on the issues. And, that was King's way. His method was, you have to, fight to get people to have the right to vote. Once they vote, you have to bring them you have to get them to the situation to vote. Then you have to advocate for the right issues and elect the right people.
Well, we do have a lot to talk about today. I can't wait to get your take on a number of things. You're one of a group of very vocal pastors who have been working for justice for, I call it free MRT, for Dr. Mark Ridley Thomas. We also have had the killing of Sheriff's Deputy Ryan Klinkenbroomer and more. There's a lot to talk about today.
Okay.
We'll address those issues and more with Pastor William Smart, and you're invited in 800-920-1580. All that when we come forward, only on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Today is August 22nd, 2023 for Deutsche Taco Bell Radio. Spot title E8 Rolled Chicken Tacos Dipping Sauces Radio 30 at ID TCGRCH33000. Stereo mono compatible mix with 2-pop.
What makes Taco Bell's rolled chicken tacos so good? Is it the shredded marinated all white meat chicken? Well, yeah, obviously. But it's also the 3 amazing dipping sauces to choose from: spicy ranch, warm nacho cheese sauce, and house-made daily guacamole. Now, if you need a third reason, their white corn tortillas are fried to golden perfection, which everyone knows is the best kind of perfection. Order rolled chicken tacos on the Taco Bell app. Get 1 dip for 2-pack or 2 dips for 4-pack at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last.
You can do it all by yourself, baby girl. What's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink.
Spilled your drink? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Are you interested in catching up on all the latest entertainment news, trending topics, and exciting interviews? I got you. Tune in to The Raw Report with Robin Ayers, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. I'm your host, Robin Ayers. Join me every weekday with some of the best entertainment contributors in the business as we break down what's going on, who's got next, and what not to miss. Only on The Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
Right now, talking with Pastor William Smart. So, it's terrible when anyone is murdered. And this man was 30 years old. He just got engaged, I guess, in the days prior. Sheriff's Deputy Ryan Klinkenbroomer was in his cruiser, reportedly, LA Times is reporting, at a red light at just near the Palmdale Sheriff's Station, and was shot in his car and died shortly thereafter. Sheriff Robert Luna called it a targeted act, and he inferred that Klinkenbroomer might have been killed because he worked in law enforcement. That's speculation. From what I can tell, they don't have any solid leads other than, at least not what they're divulging right now. They said that, obviously they're investigators from the Sheriff's Department and from other law enforcement agencies working on this. Right now, from what they are saying, they only have the car, a dark gray Toyota Corolla. So if you're not the shooter and you drive one of those, I wouldn't drive around right now. He'd been with the department 8 years, and understandably, law enforcement is very upset. It's a tragic situation. It does worry me a bit that they're making any assumption that it was a targeted thing or that it was because he was a sheriff, because we don't know. We don't know. I mean, it could be, but it could be anything, right?
Right.
That's the thing with, I learned my lesson on 9/11, right? Mm-hmm. Until you get all the facts, you really don't know what happened.
Right.
And I think with the tension in especially out there in the Palmdale area between police, sheriffs specifically, and community, it's important for us not to jump to conclusions. Right. That doesn't mean you can't mourn. That doesn't mean you can't donate to the family or show up, for a vigil. I'm worried about this putting out, he was targeted because he was law enforcement, and all of this heated rhetoric that we're hearing from the police association until we find out what actually happened.
Yeah. It is an unfortunate event, and every time someone is shot or killed in America, it's an unfortunate event. I'm a believer of a beloved community, that there are other ways to talk about, negotiate, rather than killing people. Number one. Number two.
Always.
Number two is you have to be pretty bold, though, to go up to a sheriff's. I think it was in his marked car. I mean, it was
I don't know if the car was marked. I haven't seen any footage, but patrol cruiser. Yeah, it was his cruiser. Yeah. And he's in uniform. We know that.
Yes, you have to be pretty bold to do that. in this day and time to a police officer. And so I stick with that. We have to mourn, but at the same time we have to be vigilant, because there's just a lot of tension between police officers and the public. And I think it's really important for us to still try and make attempts to negotiate with them in situations and create a better policing and better public responding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to find the person that did it.
Yep.
Law enforcement always take
do.
care of law enforcement, as they should, right? But I just worry about jumping to conclusions because of what happens between now and when they find the person.
That's the point. They don't have they don't have a suspect, so everybody that looks a peculiar way might become a suspect, black and brown.
$250,000 is the reward that they have out for that. And yeah, I mean, we don't know is what I know. We don't know. So, and I believe we will. So I feel terrible for his fiancée. Just got engaged, and his family. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's a terrible thing. And I also, urge, not that they necessarily listen to me, but law enforcement to practice the same kind of thoroughness and caution that they would with any other murder. In bringing justice without wreaking havoc and sowing further problems between specifically Palmdale,
right,
and that sheriff's department in the community, the people they serve. Yeah. So you've been very vocal, very active around the case of Dr. Mark Ridley Thomas ever since this came to light, that the feds were going after him, that they were throwing these charges at him. You've been at the forefront protesting, trying to educate folks about what the issues are and were. And I know you were disappointed, had to be disappointed in that verdict, and then the sentence of 42 months.
Yes, it's been a trying 2.5 years, I think it has been now. I'm not sure, of, supporting him, working this, understanding the areas that the community we did stand up and support him, and the ongoing dilemma. And I'm still a big supporter of him. I am, the song that song it says "My Hero" by Foo Fighters. He is my hero. I think about what he has done over the years. The resume he has built of service is very important, and so I recognize that he is a social advocate icon, as I want to say in my way.
Right, no doubt. I mean, he actually occupied the very same seat that you have now. He was the head of SCLC Southern California for many years before he got into elected office.
Yes.
Does that bring a special resonance for you? And I mean, you know what he did in your job.
Yes. Oh, of course. And the history is there, and it will never be eradicated in any way of who Mark is and what he does. And so he continues. It's funny you should say this, because last Thursday I was in a meeting with some people, and they said, I don't want to put front anyone, I'll just say, had he still been where he was, we didn't have this problem when Mark Ridley Thomas occupied this office. And so now we have this. It's just that, the dynamics of this institution has changed, and so they need bringing in an independent organization to help fight for them, because their fighter has gone.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I don't know what your relationship is with Heather Hutt. I think she's doing a great job, but nobody's Mark Ridley Thomas. You're not going to step in with the knowledge, the skill. I mean, she's experienced too, but I don't think there's anybody. I don't know. I can't think of anyone currently in public office that has the experience that he has, knowing where the bodies are buried, as a community organizer, as a master politico, right? To get stuff done. I mean, there were deals and things and advocacy that it's very rare.
Very rare. And that's why, it's almost like to kill a black man, there's reasons you want to kill, metaphorically kill a black man. And one of the reasons is Lomax said is because, they're good at, there are some that are just dedicated to us, dedicated to our community, dedicated to people, dedicated to servanthood. And that's what Dr. Thomas is, dedicated to servicehood. And what I like about his spirit in spite of everything, and it's been daunted, but I mean, he keeps coming. Yeah.
I mean, in a sad kind of way, it's actually hurt him, because the judge said, you haven't shown remorse. Well, who's going to show remorse when they're fighting charges?
Right.
That's a trick bag. Because he's appealing, right? He's trying to get this overturned, even though it's hard to get a federal case overturned. He's trying. So why would he say, I'm sorry I did this, when he's still trying to prove he didn't?
Right. And if you had been in court and saw his compassion when he made the statement, we read the statement now, but he was there, and to watch him articulate that, you knew that whatever you knew that he had a sincere sense of what he felt.
Right. So my understanding is that he's added to his legal team, and he's going hard at this appeal. Is that your impression?
Yes. And I think the community needs to support him, those who believe in him.
What does that look like, community support?
To give money to the campaign. I don't know if I could say that here.
Yep.
Give money to his campaign. I mean, not his campaign, give money.
The campaign to free him, to free MRT, as I call it.
Oh, yes, the campaign. We need to, because here's a person that always gave to us.
How do you do that? Do you know right off the top?
Not right off the top.
Okay, we'll look it up. We'll get to it. Yeah, we can say that here. I think we do say that all the time.
You say a lot here. Yeah,
we're lucky.
There's a lot that has gone there. This is can I just say my way? This is the liberation station. Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
This is the liberation station. This is a place that you can come, you can articulate yourself, and you can be free. And I thank God for Tavis. I thank God for you and all the other lineups of people, dynamic people that are here. This is a freedom station. So yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Don't be mad if you hear that on the air. The Liberation Station, KBLA Talk 1580. I know my Don Amici impression is pretty bad, but you get the idea. So I know that there are fundraisers going on around Dr. Ridley Thomas. I've seen him at a lot of events. Not the least of which was the Contract Ready event on Saturday that Tavis and Dion Rambo had, which was very well attended. Tons of people. I don't know the count, but it had to be at least 700-800 people there. And the crowd, let out a loud cheer when they saw Dr. Ridley Thomas. And
beautiful.
Yeah, so I think the community support is holding strong. I'm actually on the host committee for a fundraising event that his wife is doing, Avis Ridley Thomas, for the Days of Dialogue, the Institute for Nonviolence in LA, the Days of Dialogue. It's a fundraising luncheon. And, so if you want to go, call me. Call me 800-920-1580. I'll tell you how to get a ticket. But I was actually using it as an example because the host committee includes Tavis Smiley, Antonio Villaraigosa, the former mayor, Yvonne Wheeler of the LA Fed, the Weingart Foundation, Anthony Thigpen. I mean, it's just Dr. Charles and Deborah Stith, KBLA, Justin Sanders, Stan Sanders, the Ray Charles Foundation. I mean, it just goes on. And this is like a who's who here.
Yes.
Of LA. And so it's Lisa Collins, the California Endowment, Attorney John Brown, the Bridge Street Incorporated, Senator Steve Bradford, Bishop Charles Blake, Pastor Charles Blake II.
My name's supposed to be on there.
Yeah?
It's not.
It says partial listing.
Yeah.
The partial listing.
Yeah, I'm
that's
listing.
your partial listing.
Yeah, I'm a partial.
Because we kind of know that because you supported him on every single thing.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. So you can call me or you can go to brettdlouis@gmail.com. Avis Ridley Thomas and Mark Ridley Thomas have, I think they were like high school or college sweethearts, right?
Yes, something like that.
Yeah, long time black love over there. And so supporting her work, I think, at this time is super important.
It's very much so. Yes, ma'am.
You know, imagine the devastation on a family.
Yes. Especially when it's documented that he didn't do any, like so many others that have been arrested, and tried. He did not do anything for himself. He did not do anything for himself. It was always, he was trying to help someone else, his son.
Yeah.
And
the community.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the community.
as usual.
Mm-hmm.
We've got news, traffic, and sports right here. I've got more questions. I know you've got more answers. We've got more challenges. But look, you're invited in if you want to veer the conversation left, right, center. We're still on strike.
Yes.
Yes, indeed we are. SCLC has a history around that, too. We'll take a look at that and more when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says House Republicans are in a battle that is hurting hardworking American taxpayers. Speaking on ABC's This Week, the New York Democrat said that House Republicans are in the middle of a civil war that is also limiting the ability to solve issues on their behalf. He went on to add that House Democrats are going to keep trying to find a common ground with their opponents. Black California lawmakers say there's still some resistance when it comes to black people receiving reparations. One member of the California Reparations Task Force, Reginald Jones Sawyer, who is black, tells NBC News, quote, if each individual that they had polled had read the 400-page document we did last year, which proved how California was complicit in chattel slavery, and read the 1,100-page document that we printed out this year, which talked about what reparations should be, there's absolutely no way you would believe that there shouldn't be some type of compensation. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
The City of Los Angeles Emergency Renters Assistance Program will start accepting applications at 8 a.m. on September 19th. The program will provide up to 6 months of rental arrears to low-income residential renters who are at risk of homelessness due to unpaid rent as a result of COVID-19 or other financial hardship. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org.
Anyone can choose to make a difference. You can help people succeed, rebuild after disasters, protect the environment, or feed the hungry. Not only will you make a difference for others, but for yourself. You can earn money for college, learn career skills, and make friendships that last a lifetime. Make a difference. Choose your future. Choose AmeriCorps.
Dominique DePrima, KBLA Talk 1580. Hey, did you know that you can buy a home without making a 20% down payment? That's right. Having a large down payment actually does come with advantages like no mortgage insurance, lower monthly payments, and things like that. But there are lots of different types of loans that could be a fit for your situation. Some of them involve little or no down payment. Whatever your financial goals are, U.S. Bank Access Commitment Initiatives can help support you in reaching them. Access your financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, could potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
What's up, party people? It's your favorite MC's favorite rapper, MC Light here. And we're celebrating 50 years of hip-hop, authentically powered by Cadillac. And we're going to take it way back to where it started. It was only fitting that hip-hop began with teenagers at a back-to-school jam in the rec room of a South Bronx apartment complex by an 18-year-old brother. By the way, I'm also sure he had a Cadillac parked outside. He noticed the energy on the dance floor when he switched between two turntables, extending the beats, repeating the breaks, and never losing the rhythms. And that was the birth of hip-hop. And from that moment, it took off.
For more on how Cadillac is celebrating hip-hop's 50th, visit Cadillac.com/audacity.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Whether financing is needed to increase working capital, acquire a business, purchase inventory and equipment, or refinance debt, Lendistry has a solution for you. Lending products range from traditional business term loans and non-revolving lines of credit to SBA 7A loans and commercial real estate financing. Lendistry's pre-application process is simple and does not impact your credit score. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more and to get started with an application right from the website.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm trying to get them in January.
That's your walk-on music, Pastor Smart. You dedicated that to Dr. Mark Ridley Thomas.
Yes.
I wonder if he listens to Foo Fighters. I'm just asking for a friend. but Pastor Smart does. So yeah, we're on strike. The Screen Actors Guild, of which I'm a member, the Writers Guild of America, on strike, walking these picket lines. The UAW. It seems like every day more people are on strike. Maybe a tiny glimmer of hope here as we're hearing about the resumption of talks again, finally. Drew Barrymore, who said she was going to bring her show back. If Read the Room.
That's right.
If failing to read the room was a person.
Yes.
She's now backed off from that. She said she will not bring her show back, did a crying social media apology, and has backed off. Actually, same with Jennifer Hudson. Her show was slated to come back this week. They have now postponed it indefinitely.
That's important. That's important because everyone in the industry has to stick together. I'm headed to, right after this, in a couple of hours, I'm speaking at a WGA event, and they're accentuating the Latinos because it's part of Latino Heritage Month. And I'll be over there this morning. And, again, they asked me to come and say a prayer and talk about the important, what's at stake here. And it's not just here. It's not just with SAG. It's with the hotel. It's with the hotel industry right now. It's with now the UAW,
United Auto Workers,
and then with SEIU, they're getting ready to go on strike at Kaiser. It looks like it's ongoing. And what is happening here, if I can be gentle with it, is that, basically because I think part of my analysis, Sister Dominique, is because of the pandemic and the companies and the multinational groups that were able to make so much money and on the backs of all these workers. That's one of the issues. They now the workers have trying to come back and get some of that benefit. And they're being greedy,
Right. Yeah, for sure. There's price gouging.
Yeah.
And then many of these corporations have made huge profits. They've changed business models, as we've seen with the writers and actors, to where they can maximize their profit and find slick ways to pay the creatives less.
Yes.
And if we don't get a new deal now, whether it's the auto workers who are saying, look, we need protections when you switch to electric cars.
Yes.
And it's the same thing with the actors and AI. Look, they can copy my voice tomorrow and have me saying whatever they want on the radio. Right. But if that's going to happen, I need to be paid for that. I mean, that's the essence of who I am. You don't get to just jack my soul.
Right.
You don't just get to do that. So I think we are at a crossroads.
Exactly. And so we, these entities, we have to fight, and I say fight because you said the history of SCLC and labor is, important together. And so one of the things I've done since I've been president these 11 years has always been involved with labor and understanding that that's one of the tools that can help bring about more African Americans in the working place and into the working in the middle class is being involved. That's one of the tools to be involved in.
Absolutely. My granddad was a letter carrier or mail carrier. And because of him, our family was lifted into the middle class, right?
Exactly.
Because of him, my dad was able to go on and become a scholar and a writer, and we, you know him, but that's just one generation.
Yes.
And that's the story of so many black families. He was a union letter carrier.
And that we have to go back to that. Understanding that. Yesterday, I noticed I preached about the spies who entered the land and Caleb and said, let us go up right now. But one of the analysis of that is they said that this is a land that devours its inhabitants. And when we look around and we see what is happening to the the marginalized, the disenfranchised, and we see that it is a land that is devouring its inhabitants. And we see this in the labor. We see this what's happening there. That we, if we're not careful, everything we stand for will be devoured. The racism that we still deal with every day, though down in Florida and Texas, and everyone trying to annihilate our history and not tell the truth about it and hide it. All of that. It's a land that is devouring its inhabitants, and I'm one of those inhabitants.
No doubt. We got Big Phil on the phone calling from Los Angeles. Jumbo Ola Hotep, what's up?
Good morning, Creek didn't rise this morning. Devil don't sleep. Keep waking up. Let me say one thing. I've been knowing Mark Ridley Thomas over 20 years. Been in some march with the brother. I pray somehow the brothers don't have to get the sentences, go to prison time. And I just wish he could have just took that, some type of plea, no contest. Because when that white woman took that deal, I knew he was going to be in trouble if he go to that trial, period. He's one of the most powerful black men in L.A., don't lie for black people. And second more, I can understand, these people out here striking, and they say there's a lot of writers, you can't pay your mortgage. First of all, I own duplex. I always put some day for a rainy day. Mom, Dad always taught me that, okay? Billy Porter talked about he had to sell his home. I don't know what went on with that situation. But you always put some for a rainy day. Now they're in the welfare line, some of them, okay? So I'm going to land, Dominique. I love you guys. I love you. I love Travis Valley, you guys keep up the good work, and please stay safe down there. God bless you. I'm out, Big Phil.
Appreciate you, Big Phil. Well, I got a couple things the governor has done in the last month or so that I'm not so thrilled about, but extending unemployment to those who are striking is one of the things I think he's done that is right.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think in the state of California, I don't think he had any. He has any alternative but to do that because of just the nature of, you have the, whole entertainment industry. You have some powerful unions that are very supportive of him, that are working with their constituents that are real important, that vote for him. I don't think he had any alternative. Sometimes in government, I heard Mayor Villaraigosa said this one time, that there are certain decisions you make just because you are a Democrat. This is how we govern, and I just think I would have been totally disappointed. But I'm waiting for one or two other things from him. But I've been really, you just expect Democrats to govern this way.
Yep. We're assuming that he's going to sign this thing.
That's the other thing.
But I do think he'll do the right thing. I don't know. It's it may be a political hot button, but I think it's great that the legislature has passed this. Yes. We're not the only ones doing it, and it certainly makes sense if you want your unemployment benefits are not going to pay all your bills. And to Big Phil's point, you want to save something for a rainy day. It can be a little tougher though in the entertainment industry because people think actors are rich, but a lot of them, you have a long time in between jobs. It's not like a regular job where you have a check all the time. You only get a check when you get a job, and you don't get a job all the time. Just because you saw that thing rerunning doesn't mean that person is still working. So it's not always that simple in the entertainment. It tends to be feast or famine.
Right. So, give them the money. Give them the money. And at the same time, we still... there was an analysis done that they said that in early May when this strike started, they said that it would be a long time before it settled with the WGA, and then when the actors came on, because most of the yachts of the owners, check this out, and studio owners were already gone. They were out to sea. They had no intent, and said that was a nefarious sign that nothing would be done during the summer.
Oh, because they were already on their cruises.
They were always on their already.
Yeah, but you know what? At the same time, Warner Brothers has the nerve to complain that they're losing $500 million because of the strike. Why don't you take that $500 million that you lost and just meet our demands keep it pushing?
Keep it pushing.
Think of all the money you would save.
Yeah.
But, if that's because you're out on your yacht, then you're not really practicing responsible leadership.
Well,
I don't get to go out on my yacht if I had one. You know, when the station is burning, that's when you come home and get out your hose. I mean, that's what being a lead. That's why you have a yacht. You're supposed to be a leader, right?
Yeah, they had no intention during the summer to sell this.
Well, yeah, there's been, you know, some terrible comments. I think, though, that the AMPTP has made some mistakes, major marketing mistakes by making those comments about letting people lose their houses and letting the writers bleed out and the actors being unrealistic. All these comments have done nothing but make people more militant. And now we're set to vote on whether video game producers will be struck. And I believe with the current climate, the vote will be yes. The president of the union, Fran Drescher, the nanny, says it's time to show our solidarity right now, and she's urging SAG members to authorize a strike against the video game industry, which is notoriously exploitative of workers. Way worse than TV and film, because we've had this long tradition of unionization in the creative space of actors and writers, whereas the video game industry is relatively new. And from what I understand, many times they are worked like indentured servants.
And then I don't know much about the technology, but isn't that an area where AI can come in and they just can take it over, their voices and everything?
I mean, I guess to the same extent it could happen in entertainment.
Yes.
You know, because you do have voice actors, a lot of voice actors that work in gaming.
Yes.
So, yeah, those same things would apply. And just because I have a child that's, you know, interested in games, and that listens to a lot of podcasts about the terrible things that go on in the workplace and the vast amount of work that it takes to create one of these games. Like, you play it, you don't think about it, but you're talking about animators and voice actors and programmers who are spending hours and days and years of their lives, like under these intense deadlines that are similar to what you would see in a high pressure Hollywood creative environment. And they deserve the same protections that other content creators get.
Exactly.
So, you know, I'm voting yeah, just in case you were wondering.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You might have figured that out. Yeah, so you've got some great things coming up. We'll talk more about them when we come forward. But what is your mental health initiative?
It's going to be on November the 4th. It is at Cadron, and it will be with Cadron and St. John's, the county. Right now, Council District 8 and Council District 9, and we're just it's a time, you know, because people look at mental health and they think that they have, you know, African Americans particularly, that they think, oh, there's something wrong, that I don't want to get involved with that. But it's going to be an opportunity for us to really get out the resources. This summit is going to let people understand the resources so that if they have themselves, or and there'll be opportunities for different strategy right there. There'll be some sessions, and there'll be opportunities for some professionals to help those who come off, but also there will be opportunities for you to get a lot of resource. There's going to be the development of good, strong resource packet so that everyone will understand where they can go, where their family can go, because this whole thing about African American and Latino mental health is something that is really coming to the forefront. And it's been a long time, but SCLC felt that no one was really addressing it. And right before about 3 months ago, right before we were about to have a food giveaway, something happened. A young black lady she didn't do anything physical, but what she did mentally just showed me that it's time to act right now.
All right, we'll tell you how to access that and find out about another gathering, the beloved community, when we come forward, only on KBLA, Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to K-Drip, where we play all the best classic water-wasting hits like Sprinklers in the Rain and Leaky Faucets. They're tunes from another time, because now that we face a hotter, drier future, Every drop counts. Despite an extremely wet winter, keep using less water, fixing leaks, and reusing indoor water for your garden. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more ways to conserve. Up next, brushing your teeth with the water on.
K-Drip.
The Los Angeles Urban League helps African American and others in underserved communities achieve true social parity, economic self-reliance, and civil rights. For over 100 years, Los Angeles Urban League has ensured our communities have access to careers with living wages, opportunities to start and grow businesses, and clear pathways to personal and professional growth. Programs like BizCamp, Construction Career Academy, Bob Business Ready, and B-Warp. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Program are examples of the ongoing events designed to make our centennial mission to rebuild Black Wall Street right here in LA a reality. To sign up for our newsletter or to support the Los Angeles Urban League with your time, talents, and donations, visit laul.org. That's laul.org. The Los Angeles Urban League is a proud sponsor of Urban Family Focus Saturdays at 7 a.m. on KBLA Talk 1580.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
So if we want to find out about this mental health opportunity, really, I love that you're just encouraging people to take care of ourselves. They can go to sclc-sc.org.
And some things will be up. You know, Dominique, we relaunched just 2 weeks ago. We relaunched our website, and
it looks amazing.
Yes, someone donated their time, the time of their webmasters, and it's beautiful. And our people will be able to continue it on. Something I've always wanted, because we've had a lot of missed opportunities, because when people came to the website, it was an F. And someone told me, so you don't even have a good website. So we've finally have gotten that together.
Yeah, I love it. You can see opportunities to get involved with the women of SCLC, Hurting and Hungry Charities, MLK Young Dreamers for Justice. And it has the 60th anniversary celebration of the March on Washington, which was just a second ago, it seems like. Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Oh, we have since 10 years ago, when I assumed the presidency, we have always done something on that date. That is and it's not always focused on the I have a dream. It's about building a coalition and remembering what that day was about and how that date works for us today and what we have to do today. It's always been a time to remember, but at the same time to push forward with a new agenda. And then just last week, I did some reels about it, the 60th anniversary or commemoration of the 4 young girls that was killed in Birmingham. That Sunday bombing, that the Ku Klux Klan. And so out of that, we see that even today, white supremacy is still in existence, and we have to combat it at every avenue that we can. And so we were really accentuating that last week.
And now you have something upcoming, another thing in November.
November, we're going to do our beloved community, where that's going to be focusing on, beloved community was focused on militarism, segregation, and economics. And he said that the 3 ills of society were those 3, and poverty. And so what we're doing is we added a 4th, same thing that they did with the Poor People's Campaign. They added a 4th one about environment, and we've done that also, because that's very, having the right environment in terms of where we live and what's going on, the whole gamut of issues surrounding environmental justice. And so we're involved in that also. So on Sunday, November the 12th, at McCarty Memorial Church, we're going to be at 6 o'clock. We will be having a program focused on that, and we're asking people to. It's a collaboration of a lot of groups coming together, and at the same time, it's most importantly that. It's just not, we want a diversity of people there, because that's how you make the beloved community work, is that you understand each other's perspective and you love them anyway. I know that's difficult.
Love them anyway. No, I think it's difficult, but that's probably the medicine that America needs right now, right?
Yes, ma'am. Exactly. We have to talk that talk and walk that walk of Dr. King, and what his initial vision on these issues were. Yes, ma'am. We at every time we're trying to do that.
I always say, I try to attack the policy, not the person.
Right.
With certain persons, it's hard, like the former president.
Yes.
Because, the former president just does things that are so despicable, it's hard to separate them from the character of that individual. But in general, I try to criticize the policy more than the person, because I don't want to be part of the inhumanity of demonizing others.
Yeah, but that character you just said, it ran roughshod over the law. Just roughshod over the law.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad now that in some aspects he's being held accountable. That's important. That's important for just America, when you're doing things like he did, to be held accountable and be brought to justice.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Pastor Smart, we were invited to at least 2 events at your church. The mental health collaboration with Kedron and St. John's, and we can find out more at your newly relaunched website, SCLC-SC.org. Yes. The SC is for Southern California, of course. And then the event for the beloved community, which is November 12th at McCarty Memorial.
Yes, ma'am.
Other ways folks can get involved?
Go to our website. We'd love for you to. We're part of Nation Builder, and so they can express themselves there, to discuss what they would like to see us doing. You could become a supporter, and then you go into an area there where you can really participate in all capacities. That's what's so exciting, to finally have our website up running the way we wanted it to.
Yeah. And, we started out earlier in the conversation talking about ways we can support Dr. Mark Ridley Thomas and his in his appeal. Lawyers are expensive.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yeah, I've watched him stand through this whole process. And sometimes there's a gospel song that says, "Just stand," and I've watched him stand. Through the storm, I've watched him stand. Through the rain and through the turbulence, he has just stood there with power invested in the Lord, invested in him. Yes, he's standing. I love him.
Yes, and many in the community do as well. Watch this space for more opportunities and ways to stand with him. Pastor William Smart, it is always a pleasure to see you.
It is a pleasure, too. It's always a pleasure to be here, to come into this sacred space, and also to see you do so many of the MCing that you're doing around town. I want to talk to you about that and later. And yes, it's always, you bring an excitement, a jubilance to everything that you do.
Oh, thank you, Pastor Smart. That's a high compliment. We've got news, traffic, and sports, and it's time for our Mindful Monday. It's time for you to call. We got a lot going on around here. As usual, your liberation station, KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says House Republicans are in a battle that is hurting hardworking American taxpayers. Speaking on ABC's This Week, the New York Democrats said that House Republicans are in the middle of a civil war that is also limiting the ability to solve issues on their behalf. He went on to add that House Democrats are going to keep trying to find a common ground with their opponents. Black California lawmakers say there's still some resistance when it comes to black people receiving reparations. One member of the California Reparations Task Force, Reginald Jones Sawyer, who is black, tells NBC News, quote, if each individual that they had polled had read the 400-page document we did last year, which proved how California was complicit in chattel slavery, and read the 1,100-page document that we printed out this year, which talked about what reparations should be, there's absolutely no way you would believe that there shouldn't be some type of compensation. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
This season, your coffee orders are getting warmer, and your outfits are getting cozier. The world keeps changing, and so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're one of the best ways to help protect yourself against COVID-19. You can get a COVID-19 shot at the same visit as a flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Talk to your healthcare provider to learn more and schedule at vaccines.gov. And don't forget to get extra cinnamon spice. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
You are now in Big Tobacco's fantasy land. Welcome. It's a healthier world where they want you to believe that vaping makes quitting cigarettes a breeze. Never mind the evidence that vaping leads to using both. And if you're younger, even better, teens who vape are 3 times likelier to use cigarettes. In Big Tobacco's fantasy land, the deadliest industry is your friend.
Big Tobacco's idea of smoke-free is a dangerous fantasy for us all. See reality at undo.org.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
Today is August 22nd, 2023 for Deutsche Taco Bell Radio. Spot title E8 Rolled Chicken Tacos Dipping Sauces Radio 30, ad ID TCGRCH33000. Stereo mono compatible mix with Tupac.
What makes Taco Bell's rolled chicken tacos so good? Is it the shredded, marinated, all-white meat chicken? Well, yeah, obviously. But it's also the 3 amazing dipping sauces to choose from: spicy ranch, warm nacho cheese sauce, and house-made daily guacamole. Now, if you need a third reason, their white corn tortillas are fried to golden perfection, which everyone knows is the best kind of perfection. Order rolled chicken tacos on the Taco Bell app. Get 1 dip for 2-pack or 2 dips for 4-pack at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last.
KBLA Talk 1580 is dedicated to empowering our communities by providing progressive talk radio for our audience. We strive to be an intersectional voice for the voiceless. As a Black-owned and operated station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor